Hello everybody, this is today's video. This is going to be kind of a bit of a lengthy one because it's going to be a game review of what I've seen and experienced from Resident Evil 9 Requiem. First of all, I would like to mention that the fact that they brought in Raccoon City Police Department. That right there, and the music that they had in that game for that moment in time was phenomenal. Okay, I like what they did with that. I like the fact that some of the villains returned, like Mr. X and Albert Wesker, which brings me to my now deep-rooted discussion on how is he still alive. Because last we seen, he was dying and or possibly dead in lava, which a lot of people are going to say he was not being killed off in that moment in time, but yes, he was. So they're going to have to explain on how he survived that. Now, with some other things that I didn't notice in the game that they didn't touch on was the fact that where was the rest of the members of the cast that were supposed to be in the game? Because we should have got Carlos back for one, and they could have made the second villain of the game Carlos. And it would have been easy. They would have done that perfectly because they have no time fixed on Carlos when they had him in Resident Evil 3 and after 3. So they could have had it where Wesker abducted him and turned him. But I digress. That's neither here nor there. But when they brought in Sherry, I already knew that she was going to be infected by the plot point that they were trying to have an antivirus that was curing people. So I would not turn Sherry into a normal human because she still, plot point convenience wise, needs to be within the G virus still because she is the future of the Resident Evil franchise until there's a new protagonist that comes in to be the future of the series because it's not going to be Leon anymore. We didn't see Jill. We didn't see any of the other major important characters that we were supposed to see. And if Jill is still alive, because we've seen that she was, because in the Death Island movie was taking place after the events of 5, because it was when she was turned by Wesker, but then had to deal with the repercussions of her actions when she was under his control, which, again, in this game is the future installment of the timeline of all canonical-based games. Okay? Well, then where is she? How come she wasn't referenced? And where was Claire? Where was Ada? Because Ada should be still alive at this moment in time. Because if she's not, well, then they need to explain that on why she is dead and how she died. So there's more loopholes in this game than there are fixes. Okay, and I like that because that means to me that we're going to get a future installment because Chris is in Europe and he was dealing with other BSAA affiliation stuff that he had to deal with in that moment in time. What that was, we don't know. Because we have no, other than it being 2040 mentioned in the game, we have no canonical events of any of the other characters in this timeline of events. Which is kind of weird because where's Kendo? Kendo should have came back because he was the gun shop owner of Raccoon City. So he should have been one of the ones that was majorly supposed to come back but didn't. Capcom, y'all got to do better. If you see this video, y'all got to do better because I like your storytelling, okay? But you got to do your characters better than what you've done them, okay? Because now you've created a point where you have two alternate endings with Leon. Him dying, to me, is the canonical ending of the game. He should not be alive because his character is fleshed out. Because you have more original characters that you should have went with to replace him in this game, and Grace should not have even been in the game because there's other replacements that should have been there instead of her, because you have all these other people that you do nothing with, but you want to bring in a new character to make it where we like her and what she does in the game series. Well, we do, but there should have been a better character than Grace. For instance, what happened to Ashley? Because Ashley is still canonically alive up until this moment in time, until we see otherwise. So she should be in this game because it is a culmination of the timeline. So How come you don't use her anymore, Capcom? She would have been better than Grace in this moment in time because of her affiliations to the presidency. That, and she could have actually be funding the BSAA. Why not make that connection? Why not talk about her in the BSAA? Because I know that they all know each other. But again, this is just a deeply rooted fan that has been here since the first game in its original release. But what do I know, right, Capcom? What do I know? But anyway, other than that, again, I like what you did with 9. I would have done it dramatically different, though, because there would have been other characters that would have been coming back instead of a new character altogether. And again, explain where Rose Winters is, okay? Because we need to know, because she should technically be in her 70s or 60s in this moment in time, but yet you don't want to show her in the culmination of the timeline of events. Okay, I get it. But again, then where's Sheva? Sheva should have came back because of the fact that she did play a role with Chris. Okay, well then if she didn't come back to Raccoon City, then she should have been inducted to the BSAA at this point in time because she would have done all the events that she needed to do in Africa. But again, I digress because I can go on a whole tangent on how you failed to utilize your characters in the games. Okay, but I get that, but it's all good. Because I love the game Resident Evil 9 Requiem. I love it. It's good. But there are some issues with the game that, other than that, need to be addressed. But if you like this content, thanks for watching the video, and let's have a really good discussion in the comment section below, because I'm very passionate about this game franchise, as anyone should be who's a gamer, because it is a long-standing game system that hopefully will never go out. And if there is a Resi 10, okay, Capcom, please listen to this. Bring back original characters again. Okay, don't make new cast unless if it is tying in to the original cast, because there are characters that do tie into your pre-existing original characters. Please listen. Thank you, thank you.